Hey guys, Jim here. Welcome back once again. And Kaviso has done it again. They've brought out a couple of very affordable, really cool designs, partnered up with Ray Laconico and QSP. Now, you've got two different knives here. I'm kind of cramming into one video, only because I don't want to create confusion by having a similarly titled video for each one of these, because these are both basically the same model, the Keen Mini. One is going to be a liner lock in aluminum, and one is going to be a frame lock in titanium. And this even created a little bit of confusion for me as I was going back and forth discussing this with Kaviso, what these models were. I had forgotten that once I had unboxed these, that I had gotten two Keens. I was only focused on the one that I had in my hand at the moment. I was reading the email, and I checked out the listing, and I'm like, man, this is quite a substantial knife for an aluminum knife. And of course, it is not aluminum. This is the titanium frame lock variation of the Mini Keen, or Keen Mini as it were. And then we open up this box to see the green one. And the green one is the liner lock, and this is the one in aluminum. Now, what you're going to have here are a few different options. You can get blue, black, or green on the aluminum, and either the dark acid stonewash or the satin finish. My apologies. A regular stonewash or a satin finish on the aluminum, and then the dark acid stonewash is one of the options that's available on the titanium frame lock. So there we go again with a little bit of confusion. Hope I don't mess this up for you guys. The main point to drive home about these knives are, number one, the wonderful design work done by Ray. I gotta tell you, he's one of those guys that I feel is still underrated in this industry, because what he focuses on is very clean, sleek, kind of under the radar kind of designs. I've never seen him really do anything particularly flashy or over the top, and certainly nothing that had features or design aspects made into his knives that were completely unnecessary. They're all meant to fit the hand nicely. They're all meant to work very well for actual cutting, for actual EDC tasks. They all have very good actions. The liner lock here is not quite as drop-free as the titanium frame lock is. That one kind of drops down nice and easily, where this is going to be more of a manually closing knife, which is really how you're closing your knives anyway. You're never actually using a knife and then doing the whole shaky thing to close it. That's more of a demonstrative thing that we do in reviews to give you some sort of visual representation of how smooth an action is without you actually being able to touch the knife. And I think both of these are handsome in their own rights. There is a full-size Keen, a not substantially larger, but still larger knife than these, that's been available for a while through Kaviso's collaborations, and they've done extraordinarily well, to the point where they've answered the public's call where some people went, hey, I like smaller knives. Can there be a smaller version? Or I live in a very prohibitive state that doesn't allow me to carry the larger size. Can we have a 3-inch or less blade? And that's exactly what you've got here. So I'm going to break away from my normal pattern that I have going on here. I'm going to start with the specs. And I'm going to throw the specs up on the screen here, and you can pause the video and read them as slowly or quickly as you would like. And we'll begin things here with the titanium frame lock variation. Making our way now into the aluminum liner lock variation. And as you see, they're very similar, but there's still some small differences and the way they break down that may help you make a choice between the two. I think they're both equally handsome. And I think they're both going to satisfy the need for a lot of EDC folks. Obviously, I'm going to be more drawn to the titanium version. There's something about titanium that I prefer. And there's only it's a negligible difference in the way that they feel. The weight is very, very close to the same. Anodized aluminum is going to feel different than the bead blasted and stonewashed anodized titanium. I also really like having the dark acid stonewash up against this darker blue here. I think it's a really handsome look. Nothing wrong with the green. I think the green aluminum looks nice as well. Now they feel a little bit different too in the action, and that's going to be really because of the pressure of the lock with the detent into the detent hole and against the detent track of the blade. The aluminum on the open, the detents are pretty similar, but it feels a little more glass-like and smooth the way that this opens. But the detent's just a hair crisper on the frame lock, and it makes it feel, I don't know if it really is firing faster, but it certainly gives you that feeling that it is. Now, both of these are going to share a lot of design characteristics that are very, very similar. The flat face pivots, which is something that you guys have heard me talk about a lot over the past couple of years that I really, really like. I just think it's a nice, clean look to go into the frame as a flush fit flat face pivot. Minimalistic hardware. You only have the 2 screws exposed on the presentation side on the frame lock and 1 screw on the back side of the frame lock and of the liner lock. Holding them both and playing with them both side by side, it's really hard to say which one I strongly prefer, but I think I have a slight preference for the overall feel and the action of the titanium frame lock. Now, if you're a lefty, you are absolutely going to want to go for the liner lock version, because as a lefty, you might be worried about applying pressure to the lock bar as you're holding the knife, and that could make the detent a little bit too difficult to overcome, and you may have to put your hand in a different spot. Whereas with the liner lock, you can't apply pressure to the lock because it is hidden behind that aluminum frame. That aluminum is very, very, very slick, by the way. Your fingers have a tendency to slide off of there. I do like the bright look of this green up against the stonewash blade. So yeah, like I say, I don't have an absolute 100% clear winner between the two. I think they're both nice. And I think I have a very slight preference for the titanium frame lock. Now, another feature that they both share is a really excellent pocket clip. This pocket clip is clearly not an afterthought. It was designed very, very well. It fits with the overall aesthetic of the knives, but it's also going to be radiused. It's also going to be a kind of a comfort fit in the hand. Having that rounded face on there, having that contouring, while nothing will ever eliminate the feel of a pocket clip in your hand when you're doing heavy duty cutting, you want to reduce the chance of having a hot spot where it's digging into your hand and it feels uncomfortable. And this was done very, very, very well the way it was radiused. It's a good length. It's not overly long, it's not too short, and thank God it's not a deep carry pocket clip. You actually have a little bit of meat that you can grab onto to extract the knife from your pocket without feeling like you need to use a lanyard. Now, you can use a lanyard if you want to, because they both do have lanyard openings cut all the way through the frame. So if you're a lanyard person, you're really going to enjoy that because, well, you have that option. I've actually seen people that are really, really into lanyards, and they'll buy knives that have no lanyard openings, and they do this goofy thing tying it onto the clip, and it looks terrible, and you could tell they're not thoroughly happy with having to do it that way. Here, you can certainly run that lanyard through the hole. At the prices these things are at, I honestly feel that it's it's a no-brainer. Recently, I did a video on a knife in this price range, that $60 price range, and I was thoroughly underwhelmed. This is a knife that everybody and their brother had just been touting and hyping and falling in love with and going just batshit over. And I didn't get it. I didn't get it. And I caught a little bit of flack in the comments because people assumed, well, just because I collect customs and higher end productions, that I was just kind of having an elitist attitude just because of the price point. And honestly, that's a fair assessment. I can't say that they're 100% wrong. However, I was expecting a lot out of that knife, and I was greatly disappointed with it. And with these, I don't feel that disappointment. I feel like you're getting more than your money's worth. This feels like a more substantial knife, a higher quality knife than its $59 price would normally dictate. Hey guys, sorry for the interruption, but I promise I will make this very, very brief. I want to thank those of you that have joined and become channel members. You are helping to support the channel and helping to continue the growth. And if you've been considering supporting the channel in any way, shape, or form, because I do not have channel sponsors, I don't shill anybody's products, I don't get paid for anything, I don't do affiliate links, so everything is completely self-funded. If you'd like to help out and watch the channel grow and get more great content coming your way, please do consider becoming a member. And one of the most important things for me, no matter how much I'm spending on a knife, I want to feel like I've gotten a great deal of value. If I spend $1,000 on a knife, I want it to feel like it's a $2,000 knife. I want it to be so special that I would have felt comfortable spending twice the money. If I have a $100 knife, I want to feel like it's a $300 knife. I want to feel a great degree of value. And with this titanium frame lock being priced at $59, I was really, really surprised. I'm sorry, I think it's the aluminum that was $59. My apologies. Here I go again, confusing all of you. I feel like it's worth more than that, and I feel like I would get my money's worth out of it fairly quickly, because these are both knives that are easy to carry. Again, I go back to, something I talk about every time the warm weather hits in summer. What happened last week? 3 times in 1 week, we hit global records for temperature. All the way around the world, records were being set. So nobody was running around in friggin' jeans, man. We were all running around in friggin' shorts last week. And if I'm wearing lighter weight material like shorts, much lighter weight than the jeans would be, I don't want something in my pocket that's distracting and heavy and flopping around as I'm walking or running or anything else that I'm doing. I want something that's going to fit into the lifestyle that I'm going out for my day in. Relaxed, casual, loose, lightweight clothing. And I want a knife that goes along with that. And I think this adapts very, very well. Actually, wish these would have arrived a week earlier. I would have probably been carrying this aluminum one because, again, the lightweightness of it is ridiculous. So I've been fortunate to own a number of lightweight knives in my collection in various sizes, and they still fit the profile for something that I would want to carry during the summer. And again, with raised designs, the blade shape, everything, the way that they were done makes for a very practical utilitarian style knife that I feel is up for anything except for large, really, really hardcore tasks. This is not the knife that you're going to have as your only knife for like a weekend getaway in the woods. You're going to carry a fixed blade. You're going to have something that's better for, chopping up wood and feathering the wood and all that kind of good stuff. But this is something for the smaller tasks that is going to be really, really handy, that you can have with you every single day, no matter where you're going. Whether you're going to the mall or you're going to the mountain, these are the kind of knives that do that everyday thing for you. Great ergonomics, neutral, comfortable in the hand, beautiful blade shapes, Great for cutting pretty much anything that you can imagine. And both of them, by the way, do have sharpening notches. So if you do use your knives to a degree where you're having to resharpen them because your use outlives the life of the edge, then you're not going to have any issues with that either. So all the way around, I think they were well thought out. They were very cleanly executed by QSP. They've been doing some really great manufacturing over the past few years, and they're able to offer exceptional value for every knife that I've picked up that's been made by QSP. I have felt that it was worth more than what was spent on them. So there's always something to be said for that. Value, value, value. All right, guys, that's it for me on the Caviso and Ray Laconico Keen Minis, frame lock and liner lock, titanium and aluminum. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next video.